Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coach Al Holland Show. I'm Andrew Joyce, your host, and tonight we're set to take a look back at the Bears, one of the Bears' biggest wins in program history last week over Campbellsville University. And your UPike Bears on the road to Richmond Thursday night will preview the Bears' matchup with Eastern Kentucky University, a homecoming of sorts for Bears boss Al Holland. Joined now by the head coach of your UPike Bears, Coach Al Holland. The Al Holland Show, live from Buffalo Wild Wings again. We've got to say thanks to these great folks.
Oh, yeah. What a great atmosphere, and great to have some of our fans out to come out and watch the show tonight. And, Buffalo Wild Wings does things right, and we sure appreciate you guys as well at EKB Sports.
Some great partners, of course, Buffalo Wild Wings and Appalachian Wireless, presenting the Al Holland Show again this year. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. Of course, we're going to meet a couple of the Bears players, a couple of guys that have had great starts to the season. We'll take a look at highlights in a big win over Campbellsville last week at the Hambley Complex. And today, the Mid-South Conference announcing Player of the Week and a sweep at UPike.
Yep.
It's the first time ever in school history.
That's big for us, and, big for our program, big for our kids, big for our football team. And, just getting guys to buy in. And, you're going to get to talk to two great young men that's really bought into the program and embraced everything that we've asked them to do. And, two mountain boys that have really worked hard to get out on that football field for us, and they're making big plays for us every Saturday. But then, hey, we had three other young men that, get Mid-South Conference honors. And, one of them was Sonny Warren that you talked to a couple of weeks ago, Tanner Pfizer, and then Demir Karapanzik on the special team. So, that's a great honor for our football program.
It is, and it means things are going right for the program as a whole. You're off to a 2-0 start. You grind it out and have a last-minute stand against Bluefield. How important is that in the Eastern Division? Then Campbellsville comes in ranked 17th in the country, and a game that if you look at a stat line, you take away a couple of big plays, Campbellsville eats this one up. But you got the big plays, you got the stops when necessary, enough to get a win, and a convincing win over Campbellsville.
Oh, yeah, it was a nice win for us because early on in the ball game, we sort of put the defense with their backs against the wall. Had some early turnovers.
Sure.
You're moving the football down the field, get in scoring position, and all of a sudden it's a turnover, and give them short fields. And, our defense really stood strong right there for us and gave us an opportunity to regroup there at halftime. You had a nice 2-minute drive at the end of the half by the offense to score. But, Demir changed the field on punts with a 41.3-yard average. That's a great job by him and our whole punt team as a whole there. So, that helped us. And then came out that second half ready to go and started scoring some points and creating some big plays. The defense fed off that. And, we finally started to wear them down a little bit. They was a little bit bigger than us up front, but, our defensive line finally started to wear their O-line down and get some licks on the quarterback and create some turnovers.
It's a good win for the program. The highest-ranked opponent win for UPike at Campbellsville at number 17 last week. You're tuned to the Al Holland Show. We talk UPike football every Tuesday evening at this time, live from Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville, and coming off a 41-34 win over Campbellsville University. And we'll take a look at the highlights tonight. A lot of highlights from this one. The Mid-South Conference Offensive Player of the Week, just one of those, Sonny Warren. He threw for 364 yards and 3 scores. I know as an offensive guy, you love seeing that out of your QB.
He's taking care of the football, finding guys down the field, and, running their offense, getting us in the right place, protecting himself in the pocket, and coming up with big plays. And that's big for us. And if we're going to be successful on offense, he's got to be the guy getting us in the right plays and, continuing to have success at the quarterback position.
Sonny Warren getting it done. Also, of course, Tanner Pfizer. You mentioned 14 tackles. He leads the Mid-South Conference, the Defensive Player of the Week.
He's in position. We moved him from Sam linebacker to inside the box to playing our Bear position. And, just has a nose for the football. He's finding his way to get there and, made tackles when he had opportunities to wrap up and make those tackles.
Absolutely. Big win over Campbellsville. Let's wrap that one up and take a look at the highlights from last week's action and the Bears win over Campbellsville at the Hambley Complex.
Get a little action of Coach Susie here and him and Coach Heineman trying to get them pumped up right here. This was right there before the ball game and getting them ready to go.
I like the big orange look.
Oh, yeah. Shadon Jones here, a freshman, very talented freshman out of Woodruff, South Carolina here, making a nice return for us on the opening kickoff for us. Here's Jamar Kirksey with a nice run up the sideline and getting that first score for us early in the game. Getting pressure on the quarterback right here, Collie Taylor, a senior. Sonny finding Jordan Olinger. Olinger had a big game 2 weeks ago, putting the ball where it needs to be.
Pressure coming, forcing the quarterback to
continue to make him move out of that pocket and find a way to get an extra lick on him here. But, hey, making him a missed throw, and Darius Green right there, the same guy that makes the game-winning tackle 2 weeks ago right there to get an interception for us. He's had a big year so far for us. We got to see him to continue to improve. And then R.J. Gordon, a senior that we moved from quarterback, out to wide out that we seen a bunch last year at quarterback towards the end of the season. Here was a big play in the game, big momentum on a third down. Sonny understanding his man-to-man and finding Michael Howard down the field for a big play for us. Here was Jamar Kirksey. We've been talking to him about slowing things down, slowing his progression down in his reads back there in that backfield. And finally, he does and sticks his foot in the ground and gets north and hits him for a big one, around 40-some-yard touchdown here. And then Braxton Whitmore right here. You'll get to talk to him in a little bit. A nice catch over the middle. And he had 2 catches, for 20-some yards and 2 touchdowns here on 2 big plays on back-to-back series for us to sort of change the momentum. Chad Conway here, setting us up for a short field here. I told him as his tight end day, he's coming back out right here with the one-handed catch here on his interception.
And that's his solid fundamental defense. He's playing his position.
Yep. Continuing to get pressure on the quarterback here. Tanner Pfizer there with the sack. Sonny finding Braxton Whitmore again right here with a nice long run after the catch. Breaking tackles in traffic there.
Every year looking for that receiver to step up. Who's going to be that next guy? And Whitmore has.
He's done a great job so far. We got to continue to do that. And Austin Prey getting in on the action here with a nice touchdown catch. I thought he had a big game for us and a couple nice catches. Zach Bowen that you'll get to talk to here in a few minutes with the interception here. Zach continues to improve, starting at that corner position for us, continues to fight for us out there and work hard day in and day out. Demir here getting this ball down inside the 10-yard line. Nice punt by him, and that helps us as a whole team pull out a win together.
41-34 the final. UPike wins it. The Bears now 2-0 on the young season, set to head to Eastern Kentucky University and Roy Kidd Stadium Thursday night. And we'll have a preview of that coming up. When we come back, you'll meet the Bears. 2 players in the house tonight. The Al Holland Show live from Buffalo Wild Wings. It's presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back to the Al Holland Show. Coming to you live from Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville. Andrew Joyce, your host, as we've taken a look back at Campbellsville. We'll preview Eastern coming up Thursday night, and it's now time to meet the Bears. We'll go to the offensive side of the football, and a young man that has sprung onto the scene at the University of Pikeville. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. He is a 6'3" sophomore tight end out of Perry County Central, Braxton Whitmore. Welcome to the Al Holland Show.
Thank you.
You've had a good start to the season, coming off a 120-yard game. We'll talk about that. But first, student athletes at the University of Pikeville. The classroom's a big part of why you're there. It's the reason why you're there. Let's talk about Braxton Whitmore, the student. What's your academic major? What do you plan to do in the future?
Criminal justice is my major, and I want to go into law enforcement, like game warden or the state trooper.
Very good. And giving back to the community, I would imagine you're a fan of Northwoods Law. Have you seen the show with the game wardens? I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. Braxton Whitmore, of course, you come from Perry County Central. Your coach happens to know a thing or two about Perry Central. There's seemed to be a stream of talent coming out of that part of the country. Talk about your playing days at Perry Central.
I was there for 1 year also, but we moved into that same offense. I mean, it's a spread offense. We like to air the ball out like we do also here. And it's just it transitioned well coming here with Coach Holland. He knows it's kind of like the same plays, really. And it's just an easy transition for me.
That type of offense, how much did that play a part in where you chose to go to college?
Huge offense. 'Cause, I mean, I like pop. I've always have. And that's just the university for me.
There you go. Braxton Whitmore, sophomore, tight end, and you go to Eastern Kentucky University. The big boys, Division I program, Thursday night. What's been the mood in the locker room coming off a 2-0 start and heading to Eastern? What's the team been like this week in preparation?
Very locked in. I mean, we know we have to go out and win every week, but it's just more of a people who just understand the magnitude of the game. And it's really just a game, and we're very focused, and the coach is going to put us in the right place to make big plays.
Some mountain guys heading to Eastern Kentucky. Going to bring back a win Thursday night. Braxton, before we let you go, of course you had a great high school career, grew up playing the game. Is there someone who was an influence in your life growing up, a football influence that maybe led you down this path to becoming a college player?
Randy Moss, of course. Everybody's favorite, Randy Moss. He's just always been the household name and just a very important guy in my life.
Very
I look
good.
up to him.
Very good. Braxton Whitmore, sophomore tight end from Perry County Central. That's the look at the Bears offensive player. We'll step out, take a break. We'll meet a defensive player. Zach Bowens on the way next on the Al Holland Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back to the Al Holland Show. We're talking University of Pikeville Bears football as UPike off to a 2-0 start, coming off a win over Campbellsville University. Next up, the Bears go to Richmond Thursday night, 7 p.m. kickoff at Roy Kidd Stadium at Eastern Kentucky University to take on the Colonels. We'll be rejoined by your head coach, Al Holland, in just a few moments. But as we continue with the Al Holland Show, we meet another member of the Bears unit. This time we'll go to the defensive side. It's a guy you saw during highlights tonight, Zach Bowens, 5'8 junior out of Betsy Lane, Kentucky, right down the road. And Zach Bowens with a big interception in the win over Campbellsville. Welcome to the Al Holland Show.
Oh, nice to be on it. It's great.
Zach Bowens, of course, you're a junior at the University of Pikeville. In the program now, you've been around, you know what it's all about, and you're getting those minutes now on the field. We're going to talk about those in just a minute. But first, let's talk about Zach Bowens, the student athlete, in the classroom. That's why you're there. Talk about your academic major, what you plan to do in the future at UPike and beyond.
Okay. Well, I'm a criminal justice major. It's my third year. I'm either going to try to enlist in becoming a state trooper or do something in the court system. I'm not really sure yet, and I'm still deciding, but it'll be something in that type of field.
And, of course, that's your teammate, Braxton Whitmore. You guys share classes. I would imagine you're in some of the same classes.
Have a lot of study sessions together. It's real fun.
Of course, also a criminal justice major. Zach Bowens, you're on the other side of the ball, the defensive unit. I know Coach Brian Williams, he pushes that unit hard. You set goals every week. And, of course, you try to reach those goals. 7 tackles and an interception against Campbellsville. How close was the defensive unit to meeting those goals last week?
I think we reached 5 out of 10 of our goals. We had a lot of turnovers, and we need to really work on tackling. But we still really came to the ball, and everybody was rushing and trying to get to the ball and make turnovers.
And, of course, you got the win. Yeah. That's the ultimate goal, is to get the win. But I know Coach looks at those things as areas of improvement for the defensive unit. Did you realize the defensive unit was on the field for 93 plays against Campbellsville?
It didn't feel like that. I know Braxton was scoring a lot of touchdowns, and we were coming back and off the field real quick.
Yeah. Quick turnaround. Campbellsville had 93 offensive plays, and you've developed some depth on the defensive side. Of course, your teammate Braxton Whitmore doing it on the offensive side. On the defensive side, you, along with this week's Defensive Player of the Week, Tanner Pfizer, also had a big week. Talk about your position, playing your position as opposed to when you were in high school. How it compares? How are you a different player now than you were then?
Well, out of high school, it's a lot different because you have to play alignments. There's a lot of different coverages and such. And then Coach Williams really pushes us to learn about defensive schemes and looking at the offense, how they're set up, like trips, doubles, and just really trying to predict plays and get in this position to make plays.
More of a thinking man's game.
Yeah.
And, of course, Zach Bowens, you've adjusted well, playing very well in that secondary for UPike. And before we will let you go, we've got to talk about someone who's been an influence on your life on the football field, someone who maybe sparked your interest that said, I can play at the next level.
That'd really have to be my dad. I didn't really play football until my 7th grade year, and then I got into it, and he really pushed me. And once I got into high school, I started to put size on and got a couple looks from my colleges, and he really pushed me to go to UPike, and this is really all thanks to him.
Yeah. Are you glad you made that decision?
I'm really happy, and I love the University of Pikeville.
There you go. Zach, let's get a win against Eastern Thursday night.
That's the plan.
There you go. Zach Bowens, of course, he's a 5'8" defensive back out of Betsy Lane. We'll step out, take a break. When we come back, we'll be rejoined by the head coach of your UPike Bears, Coach Al Holland. We'll preview Eastern Kentucky University and UPike. That's coming up Thursday when the Al Holland Show returns. After this, it's presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back to the Al Holland Show. Andrew Joyce and your head coach of the University of Pikeville Bears football team, Al Holland, live from Buffalo Wild Wings. You're invited to join us every Tuesday evening at this time. We'll be live, food specials, welcoming Bears fans to join us for the Coaches Show. And, of course, as always, again this season, brought to you by Appalachian Wireless. Better service, bigger savings. Today's Appalachian Wireless. That's how we'll be bringing you the broadcast Thursday night from Roy Kidd Stadium at Eastern Kentucky University. And, of course, big matchup. Coach Al Holland, of course, you're a Perry Central graduate, went on to Wake Forest, and then to Eastern Kentucky University. Two-time OVC champs. You were the OVC Player of the Year in 2007 and spent a little time there as a graduate assistant or as an assistant coach before landing here at UPike. It's a homecoming for you. What's that feel like?
Oh, I got mixed emotions, but at the same time, it's a business trip for me as well and for our kids. And, I'll be excited to get back. And, not only me, but Will Heineman played there, my offensive line coach. Sure. Andrew Susi played there, had a great career as a defensive lineman and is our D-line coach. All three of us. It was special times for us. But, I had a heck of a career there. It'll be a little different, running out of the tunnel now and them booing us and being on the visitor sideline.
Sure.
As for many years he was winning championships for them and doing all those things. So, it's going to be fun. I'll enjoy it. A lot of people I get to go back and see, and, that was great to me and took care of me and my time while I was there. And I'll enjoy that time getting to spend with them pregame and after the ball game. So, but, there'll be 60 minutes where I'm locked in and ready to go and get our guys in position to, try to give us an opportunity to win a ball game on the road. And, and it'd be a huge upset because, we are the underdog. We're a big underdog. But, just like anything else in life, I'm not going in with a losing attitude. I'm going in with a winning attitude and try to put our kids in position to give ourselves a chance to win a ball game on the road like this.
The opening weekend of college football last weekend, we saw some upsets. They happened. And you see Division I opponents be knocked off.
Mm-hmm.
This UPike program has knocked off Morehead State University. What do you truly look to gain in this game with Eastern Kentucky? Obviously, exposure, and it's a paycheck.
It is, and, both of those things are big for us. And but at the same time, we want to go in there and compete, and we want to try to get our football program on the level that they are. We don't have the tradition that they have yet, and, we'd love to be there and have consecutive winning seasons and playoff appearances and winning conference championships. Those things that we want to achieve here at the University of Pikeville. So, we're trying to mentor them, I guess, a little bit in a way and try to put our kids in position to do those same exact things. So, we got to go in here and work. And I always say if you play great competition, it's going to help us in the long run of things in a tough schedule. And we play in a tough Mid-South conference. It's going to help prepare us for down the road in this deep schedule throughout the year.
And also gives you a little boost in recruiting as well.
Oh, yeah, it's big for us. And, we play a lot of Kentucky kids. You talk to two Kentucky kids, they know where Eastern Kentucky University is. They know where UPike is. And, hey, sometimes it might be that decision, hey, do I want to go on there as a partial scholarship or come to the University of Pikeville where I got an opportunity to play and get out there. And, we're going to try to play a 1AA year in and year out, and it makes it nice playing somebody that's in-state and, making it a nice short trip for us so a lot of fans can come out and watch them play.
Sure. You're 2-0, grinded out win over Bluefield. You get a solid win over Campbellsville. Campbellsville, a team that ran 93 offensive plays. Did you realize at the time the defense was on the field that much?
I did, just for the fact that I was worried we were scoring too fast offensively there at one point in the ball game. And, I looked up there in that third quarter, and that third quarter just wouldn't go on.
Sure.
Be done. So, because Whitmore ends up having 2 back-to-back catches for touchdowns and, 170-some yards. I want to say one was close to 50 yards, and those 2 big plays. And next thing you know, defense right back out there on the field. So, I was worried a little bit, but, I knew our guys were in shape, and, we sort of prepared them for it during camp and really pushed them. And, a lot of those same guys that's out there making plays were here early in July and getting the extra conditioning. So that's big for us as a football team, and it showed that leadership on some of them older guys.
With those 93 plays, you were 63. I'm sure you'd want those numbers reversed if you could. But with those plays, the conditioning seemed to be good. The depth was good.
Right.
How about the injury report coming out of Campbellsville?
Everybody will be back. Sean Cook is a day-to-day. He tweaked a hamstring in practice this week, so he's day-to-day. He'll be a game-time decision whether we hold him out or give him an opportunity to play. But as far as everybody else, came out healthy, and one of the first weeks there. So look forward to seeing everybody back out on the field, and we got to continue to get better this week. And that's our goal every single week, to improve from this past week. And I want to see improvement when I watch the film come Friday morning.
Let's get a win Thursday night.
Let's go get a big one.
Coach Al Holland, head coach of your U-Pike Bears, as U-Pike will be in Richmond, Roy Kidd Stadium, to take on Eastern Kentucky University Thursday evening, 7 p.m. We'll have live coverage on Z1075, your official home for U-Pike Athletics. For Coach Al Holland and the Al Holland Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless, I'm Andrew Joyce. Thanks for tuning in live from Buffalo Wild Wings.